Mr. Speaker, he can't bring himself to admit that he was wrong. That was the question. But he spoke about respect and dignity and compassion and lowering the temperature. So will he now apologise to the member for Canterbury?
Okay, so we had PM News today, and Keir Starmer, as usual, has made himself look like a wooden plank with no personality and has came across pretty badly again. So let's watch Kemi here question whether he's going to apologise in relation to the Rosie Duffield incident. So let's have a watch.
Very brave member for Canterbury for hounding her out of the Labour Party simply for telling the truth.
Mr. Speaker, I've always approached this on the basis that we should treat everyone with dignity and respect, whatever their different views.
Yeah, you didn't treat the pensioners and the disabled people with respect though and dignity, did you, Keir?
And I'll continue to do so. And I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, for why. Because when we lose sight of that approach and make this a political football, as happened in the past, then we end up with the spectacle of a decent man, and he was a decent man, the previous Prime Minister, diminishing himself at this dispatch box by making trans jokes whilst the mother of a murdered trans teenager watched from the public gallery just up there. That will never be my approach. My approach will be to support the ruling, to protect single-sex spaces and treat everybody with dignity and respect. And I believe there's a consensus in this House and the country for that approach.
Okay, so you saw him there just waffle and use a bunch of, create some sort of word salad. Very bureaucratic, very standard sort of business answer there. Trying not to say it too much, but also answer the question and dodge the question and not really answer what Kemi was asking there. So it was in relation to Rosie Duffield, who was the elected Labour MP for Canterbury, who shortly after being elected decided to resign and become an independent over not just the trans issue, but many other things as well, such as the nepotism, Keir receiving gifts and not really seeing anything wrong with that, a whole bunch of things. But yeah, Rosie Duffield was a Labour MP who was a supporter of rights. So in this context, against trans rights, in terms of like being allowed to use the same bathroom, as women, as real women. And following the Supreme Court decision, this was, something that was relevant in PMQs today. Now I'm going to show you the clip of where the camera cuts to Rosie.
Mr. Speaker, I've always approached this on the basis that we should treat everyone with dignity and respect, whatever their different views, and I'll continue to do so.
So yeah, I think she basically summed up what we're all thinking at the moment about this terrible, terrible Prime Minister who's got no charisma, and seems to never do the right thing as well, and has managed to annoy not just the people on the Tory side and the Reform side, but even annoying people on the left as well. There's a lot of people in the Green Party who are just absolutely sick of him. There's people in his own party who are quitting Labour and then joining, the Green Party and Lib Dems, or becoming independents because they just cannot stand this man anymore. They can't stand his personality, his rhetoric, his ideologies, which is basically to serve himself and his Labour government. Although following the next election, I think a lot of those ministers will be on the way to the job centre because Reform are steaming through in the polls as well. Just today as well, we finished first in 2 polls. Reform leading 2 polls nationally, and of course they are going to do very well in the local elections, fingers crossed.